Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Look, I gotta admit, this video might be a little bit painful. It might sting a little bit, it's a little bit personal, especially for me, but I just gotta stick to my ethical code here, you know? I gotta give credit where credit is due, and as crazy as this sounds, I know these words are gonna sound very odd coming out of my mouth, considering we've been covering the deranged antics of Cenk Uygur for quite some time here on this channel, but Cenk Uygur might be on his way to a redemption arc. Now, okay, calm down, it's probably way too early, and it could just be a last-ditch desperate move, so we're definitely not going to give full credit. We'll take it day by day, but I have to tell you, it does seem a little bit genuine. What's happening on the TYT might be emblematic of a greater trend. Chunky Yogurt redemption arc begins. Mr. Buffalo might actually be seeing clearly for once. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so there's all kinds of things that we could touch on here, but I really want to focus on his latest interview. Cenk Uygur shows up with Patrick Bet-David, and he gets asked the question, Cenk, are you joining the Maga train?
So look, I've been a populist all along, and what's fascinating to me is how much politics in America has changed. Here's what my left-wing friends don't understand. They think you guys are all MAGA, and MAGA means it's a cult, and you're never going to disagree with Trump. You're never going to disagree with each other, and that you are like their father's Republicans, but you're not their father's Republicans. And so our side, I've been trying to get them to realize that Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, all these folks that take the money, they're not on your side. They're on the establishment side, right? And guys, today, I think that, you know, we could do something historic. I think that we could actually unite the left flank and the right flank. And I've got a model for how to do that, and I want to run it by you guys.
So why do you think the Democratic Party lost a Rogan, lost a Tulsi, lost a Bobby, lost a Musk, lost a Trump? These guys, why do you think they're losing these names?
Real problem with the left and the Democratic Party these days culturally is we don't want you, we don't want you, we don't want you. If there's a 2% disagreement, we want to cancel you and get you the hell out of here. If the right wing, you agree with them 2%, they're like, oh, welcome in, come to the party. Oh, yeah, come on in, come on in. MAGA base has changed. Okay, that doesn't mean they don't like Trump. It doesn't mean that they're not right wing. But there is a significant portion of the MAGA base now that is, in my opinion, right wing populists who are actually anti-establishment, actually anti-corruption, actually anti-war. And what I'm trying to tell the left is take the win, take the win. We've been standing opposed here for 20 years, trying to cut the Pentagon, trying to be anti-war, being getting money out of politics. If people say yes, for God's sake, that's our lost trial.
I'm giving him benefit of the doubt here, because that's a tough thing to say if you're Cenk Uygur. He spent the better part of a decade going on and on. Of course, Donald Trump is Hitler.
Of course.
He's been on this big anti-Trump supporter, anti-MAGA angle for so long, and he's basically doing a 180. He's saying, you know what? I was wrong. And really where I give him credit is in his assessment. He finally comes to the realization that the MAGA base is the real, authentic, grassroots, anti-establishment, anti-corruption political movement. You know, Cenk might have finally opened his eyes. He's been this whole anti-establishment guy his entire career, but because of partisan hysteria, he hasn't realized that actually the people he's been vilifying are basically right there with him. I mean, Cenk Uygur is constantly going on and on about how bad the Democrats are, and I guess he finally realized that, well, we agree. And honestly, it'd be nice to have a left-wing side of the political aisle that could at the very least, see eye to eye on this thing and be willing to work with the other side and have real conversations rather than constantly screaming at the top of their lungs 24/7 about racism and Donald Trump being a monster. You know, finally, these people are coming to their senses. It's a beautiful sight to behold. I mean, the TYT right now is taking a big slice of frickin' humble pie. And I'm going to keep repeating this line, but that's why I believe they deserve credit. It takes a lot of courage for the biggest online leftist hub on YouTube to essentially pull a Dave Rubin after spending essentially the last decade attacking and vilifying Dave Rubin as some sort of evil, racist, right-wing MAGA traitor. Not to mention all the attacks on Jimmy Dore.
Okay,
of course,
Jimmy says that us and people like Amy Goodman, he insinuates, are CIA, or that we're taking money from Nancy Pelosi. That's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. A lunatic says things like that.
Okay, I didn't know
and by
that.
the way, Jimmy doesn't believe a word of that. He took, well, then why'd you take our checks, huh, Jimmy? Hey, why did you take our checks?
Opened it up, I'm sorry,
no,
guys.
because I need to clarify for the. If you thought we were taking money from Nancy Pelosi and the CIA, why did you take our money?
You guys not mad at me
Why
for
did you
this, right?
take our money, Jimmy, huh? You goddamn liar, and you know it.
You know, they vilified those guys, they attacked them like crazy, and now they're essentially doing the same thing. They've essentially humbly accepted defeat. And that, of course, I believe is the first step to being able to move forward here and start healing. You know, the TYT is essentially saying the divisive nonsense that the left has been engaging in has to come to an end. It's time to treat Republicans like human beings, and actually we have a lot in common. We're already starting to see that pop up on the TYT here.
If you look at the responses there from right-wing populists, in the old days, what would have happened is, oh, ridiculous. Look at this guy trying to cut the Pentagon. He's endangering us. We need to start more wars. The Pentagon has to be twice the size, 4 times the size, right? That would have been the old Republican talking points. And then Democrats would go, yeah, we'll double it even more than they will. And that's how it's been my entire lifetime. But you look at the comments in that section, actual MAGA, right-wing populists. These are not the leaders. I'm talking about people that are real people, okay? Going, wait a minute, that's a good suggestion. I like that suggestion a lot. Today, I get progressive reaction back going, no, you're falling for their trap. How dare you? Never work with MAGA. No, we've got Liz Cheney and Dick Cheney on our side. How does that help?
We're already seeing cooperation and unity behind this whole Department of Government Efficiency program.
These Democratic leaders are simpletons. They're servants of the donor class. So they go in there, they're like, oh, donor, give me money, please. And I made an ad. I'm Kamala Harris, I'm full of joy. Okay, well, what did that get you? And they say, oh, Jake, you're too angry. Too angry? What? You think, does Donald Trump look like he's kind? Does he look like he's in a good mood? I mean, no, people want some sort of reaction from their politicians. They want them to represent them.
Not to mention, Cenk Uygur also tweeted this: hey, Elon Musk, put me in charge of the Pentagon. I'll slash $400 billion easily. That'll get you 20% to your $2 trillion goal right out of the gate. I went to Wharton 3 years before you. I own a media company, so I know how to run a business. If you really want to cut, put me in, coach. It seems like Cenk Uygur's putting on the MAGA hat and saying, I want to be a part of the team. I want to be a part of team unity. You know, what it feels like is essentially the woke left has lost their TYT progressive bastion. They've gone too far. There's simply irreconcilable differences at this point.
The number one reason why homelessness persists, the number one reason why homelessness exists is because people get priced out of the market. When people get priced out of the market, they start living in their cars. When you start living in your car, you no longer have access to running water. You can't clean yourself. You lose your job. Your job attainment goes away. When you lose your job, you fall further down that pit until you arrive at the homeless guy that has been traumatized by living outside and looks like a crazy person, is probably experiencing significant mental health complications and doing drugs to self-medicate in that process. And everyone sees that and goes, that's crime. Why is no one fixing this?
No.
And that is the major issue.
Then Majority Report jumped in, and Lance from the Serfs and all the other little dirtbags jumped in, and they were like, no, Cenk and Anna are turning right. The 13 douchebags are right. We need to protect every trans person should get free surgery.
We got,
even in China, even though we don't have nothing to do with China, we hate them, they're Nazis.
You got to, okay.
I mean, I'm 100% right. Every dirtbag show did it.
You got to calm
Every
down.
dirtbag show did it.
And I think Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian have been spending a lot of time kind of looking within themselves and probably spending a lot of time looking at the company that they keep and looking around them and saying, you know what? I think the party they're having across the street's looking a whole lot more fun. I'm going to show up for wine and cocktails at Mar-a-Lago. You know, it almost feels like the left has cannibalized itself. The woke left has totally co-opted left-wing politics. And now the ship is sinking. And those who are smart enough to think for themselves, or those who have finally woken up, well, they're running to the life raft. Call me too forgiving, call me an optimist, whatever it is, I don't care. I like what I'm seeing with Anna Kasparian and Cenk Uygur, and I give them essentially close to full credit. Let's just hope they keep it up. And of course, let's hope it has an impact on the party at large, because without the left, there is no right, there always has to be an opposition, and I would just like it that the left-wing political opposition start acting like civilized human beings again. Is that too much to ask?
Of course, of course.
I guess a man can dream. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.